What's up, everybody? It's Bo here, and we are back on Fancraft, and we have got so much good stuff happening today. But we got to start off right chair. That's right. We are heading to the L.O.R.E office today because around Fancraft, there has been a bit of a situation. It has come to my attention that several people on Fancraft keep on messaging me and saying that they keep on finding various situations around Earth 4 that reek of lore. And as you know, we have, so it's a very, I don't want to say anti-lore, that's not right. We have a very no lore policy here in Central City, which is why we created the Legendary Object Research Embassy in the first place. So that we could, research the lore and keep it quarantined and make sure that it is contained and doesn't impact all these wonderful, amazing, various franchise-inspired builds that we have going around in Central City. But, I can't, it's a big Earth. Lore happens. And so we are here with this organization to make sure that we can kind of keep up with it, research it, and, ensure that it's not going where it doesn't need to go. That being said, with the amount of people messaging me about lore things, I wanted to make it easy for them to report, and so I have created this right here. Check it out. You can report lore right chair. The L.O.R.E office needs you. We are hearing reports of lore sightings around Earth 4. If you or someone you love has come across one such lore sighting, please report its location and we will investigate immediately. Reminder, Central City is a lore-free zone. All lore found within city limits will be quarantined for further research. City Manager and L.O.R.E office COO, Bo. That's me. That's me. Okay. All right. So this is pretty great. So I'm pretty proud of this little system right here. Okay. Because as you can see, it's kind of like one of these like old school, like funnel systems. I don't know if those of you who are old enough to remember when banks used to have systems like this. I mean, obviously they didn't have water, but you would like put a little thing in and it would shoot up and then kind of go over to where it needed to be. Well, that's the same basic principle for what we have going on here, although I hope it's not confusing. Right here, I have the paper and the anvil that you can use to put what you need to put. I mean, if somebody needs to get a book, that's fine. They can do that. And then once you put it in the system right here, you press the button and then it goes up into the system. So just for example, we take it, we put it there, we boom, and then it goes flying up. Oh, I love that. It's so great. Now, this is the best part. It goes straight up into my office, and I've got a little light here to let me know when we've got a lore report in. It goes off when I don't have anything in there. And as you can see, I've actually extended it so that I can see it from at least up there on Mount Olympus. You really can't. It's not, okay. Granted, it is not the most ideal location. I'm aware of this, but that's okay. We can figure that out. We might figure out some sort of way to like extend, I don't know. It'd be great if we had like some sort of like lore signal or something like that we could figure out that would let me know, like maybe at least where I could see it from my base. That would be pretty great. Regardless, now we need to let the people of Earth 4 know what they need to do in order to report this. So I've actually created some signs here, as you can see. See something, say something. Report all lore findings across Earth 4 to the L.O.R.E office. Now again, please don't misunderstand this. If there are lore items around Earth 4, that doesn't mean they're going into quarantine per se, but they might temporarily be moved for research purposes. I mean, that's just possible. We do have an entire office dedicated to such things. But it's only if found here in Central City itself where the lore is not allowed. So hopefully that's not confusing. Hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully we'll be able to get a way to kind of officially report these things and do some investigating in the near future. Now that bit of business is out of the way, we are headed up to Mount Olympus. Now, as you can kind of tell, some things have been going on up here. That temple to Apollo looks fantastic. We'll be showing that off soon. It's clearly not quite done yet, given the fact that it looks like Knight is still kind of doing a little tinkering. I know he's been very, very busy laying the groundwork for Hogwarts in the Harry Potter district. As you can kind of see, that hill that he's going to be building it on has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And of course, with the Time Temple of the Nintendo district coming up, I thought it's probably time to get to work on the big team build of Mount Olympus as well. Just overextending ourselves to the extreme. And as you can see, I've already started to lay it out. So what is the big team build of Mount Olympus, you might ask? Well, that's easy, kind of easy anyway. We are going to be building the Temple of Zeus. And as you can kind of see down here, I've already started to lay it out, and it is going to be quite massive. Now, in many respects, we're taking kind of a similar approach to what we did with our Temple of Athena Nike right here, but doing it much, much bigger and with something of kind of like a seat of the gods. Like basically there will be kind of in the center a statue of Zeus or a statue dedicated to Zeus, as well as perhaps some thrones for the various deities to be represented. This will essentially be something of kind of a pantheon of sorts, or kind of like the seat of the pantheon, whilst also being the temple itself of Zeus. Basing this a little bit off of the official Temple of Zeus that is right outside of Athens, but to be honest, this is also very much going to be an original design. And because it is so big, I want to try to do a couple of different things in and around it. So for example, as you can see, I'm kind of messing around with what the pillars might look like, using those quartz on the edges with perhaps some bone blocks in between, and then having maybe these like end rods going up the side, kind of almost like lightning coming down or like even fueling into the pillars themselves. Now, what might be kind of cool is if we have like a broken pillar somewhere with maybe some lightning going back and forth, but I got to be honest with you, I'm not that good. I don't know how to do that. It would be great if we did something like that just to kind of create some effects, but I think this thing is so big, we just need to kind of start making some headway on it, and as we do that, then we can kind of get creative and see if we want to kind of mess it up a little bit. The other thing that needs to happen is some terraforming. Now, we've got this little garden of the gods right here, and it'd be nice to kind of push this back a little bit, give this a little bit more space, and have some more room for that sort of thing. We also have this platform over here, which is great for another temple. We've still got some deities that have yet to be, vindicated, venerated. I don't know whatever the right phraseology is. We basically just have space for more temples. And so I'm looking forward to seeing as those continue to pop up around our Temple of Zeus. But I'm thinking, we need to terraform this a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer while still maintaining some of these levels for other temples to pop up as well. So, no shortage of work to do here on Mount Olympus. I say we kind of do some work. Let's see how far we get. I have no beliefs at all. I have zero faith that we will get this temple done today. In fact, I can almost guarantee it. But we can at least start making some headway to get an idea for where we want things to go with this big team build, the giant Temple of Zeus. Okay, this project is definitely going to take a lot of time, mostly because it's going to require a ton of resources. Ah! Oh my gosh! Wow! Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Fantastic. Oh, man. That's hilarious. I think it's safe to say I got everything back. Okay. Wow. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of recovering a little bit from that. So yes, as I was just saying, this project is going to take a lot of time, and not because I'm going to die constantly. In fact, we actually probably need to light this place up pretty significantly so that kind of thing doesn't happen. I have had to do a lot of sleeping and just kind of constantly trying to avoid all the monsters, of which there is a lot up here because it's not well lit. But anyway, all that to say, as you can see, this is going to take a ton of resources. And I've been messing over here trying to figure out how I want to do the pillars. And I think I've actually decided that adding those column blocks in between the bone blocks might be the way to go. And then also using kind of the sand walls as opposed to the, what is this, mycelium? Diorite, of course. Yes, using the sand instead of diorite, I also think is probably the best possible way to go there. And I think that's going to look good, especially as it kind of continues to go and are these kind of massive pillars with these little energy lines running up the side of them. I think it's going to give it a really cool effect, but it is going to take a ton of resources, an absolute ton of resources. And it's tough. We literally have 3 big team builds going simultaneously. So that's, I think right now the main focus in terms of big team build resources really need to go to the Time Temple for obvious reasons. And admittedly, Hogwarts is probably just as early on as the Temple of Zeus, but regardless, I don't think we're going to have too many clashes in terms of the resources we need gathered. I could be wrong. I probably need to ask Knight, but regardless, most of the quartz needs to go to building up this thing. And I'll just kind of chip away at this a little bit, from time to time, and we'll just kind of make incremental progress as we go along. And I think that will be great. Uh-oh, hello? I think we've got some lore reporting going on. Yeah, I really need to figure out a way to make that more visible. It does not really serve the purpose if you can kind of barely see it in the background there. The one thing that's so frustrating after you've gone through a death is that all of your stuff is just, it's just a mess. Let's get this all worked out real quick. Okay, let's see what we got. Ewok Village, second level. Ewok Village, second level. Okay. So Ewok Village, second level. That is, we've got an Ewok Village in the Star Wars district. You can't really see it from here, but it's over there. It's over there. It's in those trees somewhere. Yeah, just, you know what? You're going to have to take my word for it. Actually, you know what? You don't have to take my word for it. We're going to go and investigate. Except we're going to sleep first. Now, the Ewok Village is definitely in Central City. So if this report is correct, and there is, in fact, a lore item in the Ewok Village that relates to anything other than Star Wars, then this is clearly something that has to be dealt with. Unfortunately, that is exactly why we are here. To deal with just such a thing. And I ran out of rockets, so I'm very glad that I keep good old Beta Ray Phil around for just such an occasion. Yes, Fox's Ewok Wood Shop. Okay. This, I'm assuming, is what they are referring to. Let's see what we got. Stack of 32 wood. This is just a normal shop as best I can tell. It's looking just fine to me. I don't see any lore items. What? What? The lore. The lore. Somehow Earth 2 Bow returned. Somehow Earth 2 Bow returned. What? Wait, what? Okay. Okay. This is like lore graffiti, and that's going away. All right. So obviously, we got a bit of a situation. Now, don't mind Beta Ray Phil. He's just very happy that I just gave him a carrot, so he's kind of freaking out about that right now. He's not loving this, okay? I know it looks like he is absolutely in love with the lore paraphernalia that we just saw, but no. Phil is it's because of the carrot. Phil, what are you doing? Don't go over there. What are you doing? Okay, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. Okay, this also is going to need some explanation. You go back season 1, Earth 1. Everybody on Earth 1 during season 1 was our Earth 1 selves, if you will. Okay, that's all that refers to. It's just who we were on the Earths that we are. Bo, I've noticed some weird things. We should talk. Doc. I wonder, did Doc report that? What's going on? Whew, maybe we need to talk to Doc. Maybe he knows what's going on. But anyway, as I was saying, so we had our Earth 1 selves, and then once we get to Earth 2, we're our Earth 2 selves, and then once we get to Earth 3, we're our Earth 3 selves, and then we get to Earth 4, we're our Earth 4 selves. We're all ourselves, mind you, okay? Like, it's not a multiverse per se. I mean, I guess, okay, so technically... so technically it is a multiverse, but my point is that it's more of just who we are when we're on the Earth that we're on. Earth 2 me was just me in the past. Like, it's not even possible for Earth 2 me to return. I am Earth 2 me. So, I don't know what that means. Cryptic message aside, it is now safely in the hands of the legendary Object Research Embassy. That's right. Now, I am starting to think that we might need some kind of place to store these types of anomalies and lore items that we find that we might need to kind of quarantine. And so I'm thinking we need kind of a pipeline of sorts where we can kind of store them. Maybe underneath the embassy might be a good place to do it. Actually, I have no idea what I was going to do with this little opening down to kind of like the water underneath the little island that we created. We could turn this into something of kind of like a pipeline where we store, just little research items, like anything that we find that needs to be either further studied or taken out of Central City, whichever comes first. I don't know. It could be a very safe place to store the lore. You got to store your lore. And so I think that would be really great. Now, we will continue to research these items that come up. We will also be sure to get in touch with Dr. Alien, and we're going to be keeping an eye out on any new lore reports that might come through, especially because I figured out how to make this a lot more noticeable. A beacon. I mean, it's so simple. I don't know why I didn't think about it before, but I've got a beacon set up now right above my office where kind of the pipe goes through with the report. It hits up there. That little block gets pushed out of the way, and then a beacon is sent up into the sky. And actually, I think this would be a lot better, showing instead of telling. So let's just go ahead and grab a little tester item. Actually, you know what? I'll just use a snowball. Wait, is that actually snowball might be bad? It's not. Snowball actually might not work. Let's use just snow. Okay, boom. Throw it in. Goes up the system. And then, ta-da! We got a beacon shooting out, which means that if I'm not mistaken, if I am at my base, ta-da, there we go. Oh, yes. Don't know why I did not think about it before. That is going to be so much easier to keep up with lore reports that I'll be able to just kind of see coming and going from my base, and it'll let me know if I need to report to the lore office. Oh, man. It's genius. But there you have it. Today, we have done some good things. We have gotten ourselves started on the Temple of Zeus. It is going to be massive. It's going to take a lot of resources, and it's going to be more than just these 2 pillars, obviously. We got a lot of pillars that are going to be associated with this. We got a little terraforming done right here, creating some, leaving some good space for some future temples while also giving a little bit of breathing room to the temple, or rather to the Garden of the Gods. And we'll continue to do a little, make it a little bit nice. Maybe put some bushes, some additional trees, maybe a little path. I don't know. We'll have something a little bit nicer over here as time goes on. But for now, I do think that is going to do it for us for this week. I hope you have enjoyed this video. A lot to do, a lot going on, and we've got so much more to come. So stay tuned. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all the things. That's going to do it for us for today. But until next time, goodbye.